125 members of the Republican Party signed the life at conception bill that would ban IVF. Now, some of them have now come on and said, no, it really doesn't ban IVF. That's a lie. How do we know that? Because the Alabama Supreme Court used basically the same language, and IVF clinics across Alabama started shutting down. And here's a reason why. When you define life to start at fertilization, that essentially means every embryo is a child. The way IVF works, as part of the process, a number of embryos get discarded. That means all these IVF clinics are going to be guilty of murder. And that's why they had to shut down, because they can't do this process anymore. It simply would subject them to massive liability just as part of a normal IVF process. Now, there may be some Republican members that didn't exactly know how IVF worked and signed onto that life and conception bill, but there were Republican members who either got pregnant because of IVF, had a spouse who went through IVF, or had family members who went through IVF, knew exactly what this process was, and they signed onto that bill, and they are shameful hypocrites. They knew exactly what they were doing. That bill bans IVF. But it gets worse than that. We looked through, the pro-choice caucus looked through all the legislation, and they saw that that same definition was used in a variety of other bills that Republicans signed on to. 184 Republicans have signed on to bills defining life at fertilization, all of which would ban IVF if that became law. And just to put a final point on this, for approximately the first 38 hours, for approximately the first 30 hours after fertilization, the zygote is a single cell. Now, you have the right in America to believe that that single cell is a human child, but you don't have the right to jam that particular belief down the throats of Americans and ban IVF. And that is what is at stake right now.